So when it comes to ordering decimals, they might ask you to place them in order from the smallest to the largest or largest to the smallest. In this case, they've asked least to greatest. So the first thing I do is create a table. So this is my table, and you can see this column is set aside for the decimal points. So now I'm going to line these numbers up relative to those decimal points. So for example, 0.85. So I'll do this one as 0.85, 0.761, 0.729, and 0.8527. So now I need to add zeros for any missing place values. So any of these holes, I put a 0 to fill in those missing place values. Now I compare from left to right. So you can see in my farthest left column, these are all zeros, but know that that could be a different number. That could be a 1, a 2, a 50, but in this case there's zeros, so they're all the same. So then I move to the next column. That is all decimal points, so that is all the same. So then I move to the next column, and again I'm looking for least to greatest, so I find the smallest number, 7 and 7. So right now these two are tied for being the smallest number, so I move one further to the right. So I have a 6 and a 2. So this number wins out as being the smallest number. So my first number is 0.729. That's the smallest number out of these four. So going back, I have 878. So this is going to be the next smallest number, 0.761. So now that one's done. So again, working my way from left to right, I have 0 and 0, that's the same, decimal, decimal, the same, 8, 8, the same, 5, 5, the same. So I just keep moving to the right. Now I've got a 0 and a 2. So 0 is the smaller number. So now 0.85 is my next smallest number, and then all that's left is 0.8527. So now these decimals are in order from least to greatest, or smallest to largest. The other thing you might need to do is to order decimals onto a number line. So given this number line, the first thing you need to do is determine the size of the intervals. So if you look from here to here, 5 to 6, that is 1. That is, you move up by 1. And then what you do is you decide how many pieces is it split into. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, and it's split into 4 equal pieces. So the easiest thing to do is just to plug that into your calculator. 1 divided by 4. So each piece is 0.25. So I like to label my intervals so I know what I'm working with. So this is 0.25. This next one would be 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. So each interval is 0.25. So now what you do is you start with your first point that you need to label. So this is at 7.5. So I start at 7, and then I count over the intervals until I get to 0.5. So there's 7.25, 7.5. So this is my first point, A. My next point, B, is at 6.25. So I start at 6, and I start counting over. So 6.25 is the next point over, that is B. So that one's done, that one's done. C asks for 8.75, so I start at 8 and I start counting over until I hit 0.75. So here's 8, 8.25, 8.5, 8.75. So here is C. And then D asks for 5.25, so I've got to go back to 5, and I'm only counting over one interval to get to 5.25, D. So that is how you place decimals onto a number line.